Hey, how's it going? Brad Riley here, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of The Journey. Now in this one today, I have a really exciting episode because I've actually got a live behind the scenes brand strategy call with my designer, Josh Gibbons. Now, I've actually brought Josh on board here to help completely rebrand the whole Excelerator Company. I'm talking rebranding the logo, the colors, the themes, the literally everything you can imagine, the landing pages, everything that comes down to the font, everything you can imagine. We're having a complete rebrand, complete overhaul. Now, by the time you watch this, it's pretty much out. You know, you can find my logos, when I'm making posts online. My website's about to get launched. I have the book, obviously, that's got the rebranded colors and everything on it. And this was actually filmed about 6 weeks ago. But this is an incredible, integral part of my journey when it comes to building Excelerator Company and giving a full rebrand to my training business. And I thought you would find a bunch of value seeing behind the scenes what actually goes into it. And in this session today, me and Josh sit down. I give him a bunch of insight on what, the mission, the vision is for Excelerator Company, my thought process when it comes to what I want the brand to look like, and then obviously he shares a bunch of ideas too. Now I'm almost certain that nobody has shared anything like this online, so get yourself focused. Watch this on 2x speed if you need to, but I'd highly recommend you watch to the end because this is really going to show you behind the scenes what it's like to build a brand. I'm not just talking about a beginner brand here. We're really elevating things up to another level, and in order to do that, I brought on Josh, who is an expert at brand identity, and picking his brain and seeing what he does is incredible, so you're not going to want to miss it. As well, just quickly before we jump into it, this is kind of part 1 of 2. Now in this episode, we break down the strategy call. I actually do also have the footage and the live Zoom call of where Josh presents me the brand, and you can see my reaction, and you can see kind of based off of the information I've given him in this first strategy, what he was able to put together. So if you do enjoy this and you would like to see episode 2, like a follow-up part to this, and see the reaction, see what Josh was able to put together and the ideas he presented, then let me know in the comment section and let me know by dropping a like on this video as well. Finally, as you know, July 1st, 2020, my brand new book is coming out. So I plead you, if you haven't already, get yourself on the waitlist because we will sell out of this book, okay? We will sell out. It's gonna be 100% free. You just need to cover a few bucks for shipping and handling. So if you're interested in that, get yourself on the waitlist. This is coming out July 1st. How to start and scale a social media agency from the ground up. Nothing held back. So again, the waitlist will be in the description, but without further ado, I hope you enjoy this behind the scenes footage. I hope you enjoy this week's episode of The Journey.
All right, so before we get into anything, this is the most important thing, is let's go through the discovery of the story and the people. I think like when I'm designing for a brand, if I don't understand these two things, like it's almost impossible to create something that is in line with what your vision is and everything that's happening. So I'm just going to literally hand the reins over to you, and we're going to start at the top with the story. So what is the brand Excelerator? What is the company all about, and what is it here to do?
Yeah, sure. So I think obviously for the most part, it's coaching business, right? It's heavily SMMA related, but it's more than just that, right? It's very much about focusing on improving yourself, improving your routines, productivity, investments, finances. It is heavily SMMA focused on helping people get their first client, make money online, but it also has other aspects to it anyway. My process behind it in terms of the story is very much, I remember when I got started, and before I started my business, when I started my business, I was in my overdraft. I was like at uni, dead broke, hated my job and everything. And I couldn't necessarily afford like a $3,000 coach or $1,000 course. Like I couldn't afford that back then. So my goal is to help the people who need it most, who are desperate to get started, who are desperate for guidance and want a mentor, they want help, but they can't necessarily afford like a higher ticket program. So that's why I've created the Excelerator Company, which is just make it super affordable, but massively to over deliver. So it's like helping people make money, helping people transform their lives. Obviously, it's like a mastermind community as well. So it's like connecting with like-minded entrepreneurs, like-minded individuals. And the great thing is about it as well is it's a really great community of people in there as well. It's like everyone's so positive, everyone's willing to help everyone, and tell me if I'm ranting too much, by the way. Obviously, I'm just super passionate about it. So if I would just go on too much, just like let us
No,
know.
this is exactly why I've put a fat box there for you to just
Yeah.
literally tell your story. Keep going. This is brilliant.
Cool. Okay, cool. Obviously, as well, I think, and this is the biggest thing that I'm passionate about, and like this is probably the biggest driving factor for me, is like, in all honesty, I don't actually, it's like I'm your typical, I very much like to build things, but more than anything, I love to help people. Like the thing that pisses me off though is everyone says that. Like there's so many people in the space, like, I just want to help people, but I know 90% of the time it's just bullshit. Like people don't, they just want to take people's money. And I want to really build something that like massively over delivers, that really genuinely helps people and is built from a place of not, obviously this is my business, I need to make money, I need to cash flow, but that a lot of that money that I make is put straight back into the business. It's about growing it, and it's like I really care about helping people, and I generally am obsessed, like you put obsessed here, like just obsessed with helping people, obsessed with, you know, over delivering, and making sure people actually like really get the best experience. And that's why like I just have, for the most part, like obviously I have my course as well, but like this is pretty much everything. It's my main focus. I don't have a bunch of products and upsells on the back end of this. I don't have you know, I don't have a bunch of other courses and stuff to sell them on. Like this is all in on this, and like, yeah, it's very much built about helping people. Like, that's the most important thing, you know, is helping people affordably actually like get a mentor, get guidance, have a community, positivity, all that kind of stuff.
That
Cool.
is honestly so perfect. And I love one of the things you were saying is like the whole love to help people is one of the lines that I think everyone uses. But like you said, most of the time they say that, but they're freaking charging an arm and a leg to people who don't have that, or they're constantly like upselling this, that, the other, whereas you're just constantly like, it's this one thing, and you just want to put all your time, attention, focus into that to make it affordable for people to create a real change.
Yeah, and that's it. And as well, it's like it's little things that like there's everything in there that they need, they get. So it's like they get full access to me, they get full access to my team. If they want a contract, I've got the contract for them. Like, I've got contractors and trained VAs that I've literally trained myself, that I connect people with. And it's like, I've spent the time to train them, that they don't have to, and I can just connect them straight away. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, you know, I don't run a VA business, and I don't, you know, they're not my VAs, you know what I mean? Like, I've just trained VAs, and like, you know, it's just like little things like that. And really built to like, really built like big focus on helping more than anything. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's wicked actually, man. Like, honestly, I know what it's like to, you know, as of recent, when you start working with other people, you have to literally reteach the exact process of like what you want them to do. You have to break it down to the littlest things, and like that's a tough job. So I love that you're just giving them a instant connection to these people. I honestly, the over delivery just on that bit, and I know that's like only a tiny bit to the value you're giving.
Sure.
That's honestly incredible.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, is there anything else to this story? Obviously, you were in overdraft. Like, that's a scary position.
Yeah,
like,
I was in my overdraft. Hated uni. I dropped out of uni twice.
Oh wow!
Before I started my business, so I dropped out of uni, started a new course. Didn't like that, so dropped out, and then went like all in on my business. I suppose it's just, I've always said this, and it's like it's, for me, it's like, it's just been a necessity. Like I knew I would never work a job. Like I could just, even though I was at uni, I could never visualize myself graduating. I knew it wouldn't happen. Like, but I just didn't know how that it was going to happen. But that's it really. And it just, again, it's just, you know, because I do know a lot of people in this space, I mean, they do generally care about helping. So this is, again, not taking anybody else, because a lot of people do care, but there's also a lot of people who I know who I've literally spoken to, and some of which I've met before, who like, just the stuff that they actually goes on behind the scenes, like, it's just not what they portray themselves as. So from like, I just want to be, I suppose, the leader in the fact that, more than anything, just to drive home again, low cost, affordable, but you get all the value you need, but for like, just to actually be able to help people, you know. And but I also want low, and I don't want it to be low cost in terms of people to perceive it's like low value either. It's purely low cost from a point of view of helping people, not from any kind of aspect of low value, if that makes sense.
Definitely. So
Well, that's
like
everything.
low cost doesn't mean low value at all, and it sounds like the value is just unbelievable. So it's more of a case of affordability and lowering the sort of entry ticket price for the people who, you know, you can actually get more people involved in this whole game now, by lowering the bar.
Like I want, like my vision for it is like I want 100,000 people in this community. Like I just want to. That's what I want it to be, a community, like people who get mentored, who want to be helped. That's what I see it as, rather than just like a one-time course. Which courses are great. Like I don't want it to just be like, here's a course, here's the information, go do it yourself. It's like everyone. It's like a proper community. You've got modules. There's lessons. There's printouts. There's MP3s. There's videos. There's live calls. There'll be meetups further down the line. Like it's a community rather than just a do it like a, you know, here's the information, go and do it yourself type thing. It's very like, very community driven. It's like more of a ongoing, like, I said, ongoing mastermind, ongoing community, as opposed to like a course as well.
That's wicked. And I forgot to say this last time, something to bring up about the whole monthly subscription model is like, not only are you allowing more people to create a good change, but like you're making raving fans in the process. Like I think that's one of the best things about it, is like you don't realize in the process of like people paying month by month and learning from you, like you're like creating people who are like obsessed with what you teach, with your vision, your mission. When you bring out future things, like that's why I love ClickFunnels. Like the community and the culture that ClickFunnels have with their audience, it just blows my mind how good it is. That's probably, ClickFunnels is my favorite brand ever.
And they're expensive as well, right? But you pay it, don't you?
Exactly. Like you pay it because you feel like you're a part of that bigger thing.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I want to achieve. And to be fair, like we've got 150-ish members right now. And like I said, I want it, like, you know, it's a bit, and by the way, this is my life, this is my mission, right? So I say 100K people, that's not in the next 12 months, you know, that is like a life mission. Like that's what I want to get to. But everybody, because it's not just a case of I care as well, like the results are there. So I think a lot of people tend to sugarcoat stuff and make it more confusing. So then you have to follow their methods of learning. I just cut all the bullshit and I just go straight to the point. Like people often say to me like, oh, but is that like all I need to do, or is it that simple? It's like, yes, it is that simple. And people follow it, but people get results, and that's what, and that's it as well. But like the mission, like it's so true, because I've had people who literally say to me like, you know, they'll be in for a month and they'll be like, okay, I want to join I'm just going to join the yearly, but like the yearly option now, because they've been in for 30 days and they're like, I'm not leaving, you know. I've had people tell me that, like literally on calls before, like, I'm just like, there's one guy like called Joe as well. He like joined on the call and he's like, just so you know, but like I'm literally never leaving this group. So he's like, if you have this group for life, like I'm never leaving it. So it's like, it's good to have those type of like people as well. So it's good from a business perspective, like, you know, from a cash flow perspective, I can afford to hire the best people. Like, you know, I can afford to spend a bit more money and hire someone like yourself who's a super talented designer, because I know the business is also cash flowing, so I can also afford to reinvest into the best quality education, the best quality everything for the people, because I know the money's coming in next month. So it's like a win-win for both aspects as well, you know, which is great.
Yeah, 100%. That's so cool that people want to go on that yearly already, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is not just a 12-month goal for you. Like this is it. Like this is your main mission, is how can I just help 100,000 people? Like, I think that's amazing. So let's go into the second section now. So let's go more into the people. So who are we serving?
So again, it's aspiring entrepreneurs or current entrepreneurs who are looking to either get their first client or get their next client, you know, looking into a different way of you know, obviously a lot of the outreach methods I teach are different. Like people speak about cold outreach, and I do teach some of that stuff, but I also teach like different ways. I'm also very heavily focused on building an actual business and systems and automation. So it's like, you know, whether you're a beginner and you want to get your first client and you're working a job you hate, basically people who are in my situation, like absolutely obsessed with like wanting to start their own thing, but they don't have the money and they don't know how, they need that direction. It's like help those people. And I would say majority of my customers are those like beginner people who they want to get their first, second, third client or whatever. They want to quit their job. They want to live the laptop lifestyle or build an empire, build something big, but they need to get started. But then again, there's also the other aspect of it, which there's less of those people naturally, because I suppose there are less of these people who actually exist as well. But people who want to get their next client, they want to learn, okay, cool, I'm at 5K a month, but how do I get to 6 figures in my business? Or, business wise, I'm good right now, but I want to build a personal brand, and I want to impact people. Like, how do I do that? How do I get to the next stage? So it's a mix of people, but I would say like 90% of my audience is the beginner people. So for the most part, it's starting a business. Instead, like, we want to live the laptop lifestyle, hate their job, want to make more money, want to impact people. But then it's also people who want more out of their life. They want to be surrounded with like-minded individuals, people who they want to have a morning routine. They want to meditate. They want to improve themselves. And that's ultimately who it is. It's like, we don't want the last person I want. And I don't know if this is relevant to write down or not, but like basically, if someone was to join in my group tomorrow and like was to just like bring any negativity, I don't want your money, like, get out of the group. Like, you're just not a good fit, So it's like, it's just purely focused on like positive people who like have a lot of aspiration, who are driven, who want to impact, like that, those kind of people, those are pretty much the drivers. And help their family, help their friends, make more money, build a business. Like,
that's amazing. That's literally exactly who I want to work with as well, mate. I think it's really important, and like, we've definitely put it down. No negativity. I'm obsessed with that. I think that can turn the whole group sour if there's just one person negative. Like, you don't want that in the group. So I love that you've kind of reinforced that. And so the next thing would be, like you started to say, they're the people who are doing the rituals. They want something more out of life. Like high performers, really, is what I would call them. They want to be around those. So can you describe, like, what are these people doing day to day to get onto this track?
Well, it's self-education, like reading, obviously, like the whole stuff, reading courses, all that stuff, like self-betterment, right? Like, very much, and this doesn't even have to be investing in themselves in terms of cash, right? It could be YouTube videos, but focused on, rather than, like the like negative habits, they're focused on, improving themselves. Or, if they do have bad habits, they're focused on changing those bad habits, Also, what they focus on helping people as well. Like, that's what, like, I want people to be selfless, because I'm very much a community over competition person. Like, there's, you see people put online all the time, like, and I fall into the habit of doing it when I first started, where people are like, like, I'm gonna destroy my competition and shit like that. It's like, that's great, but like, I don't want to destroy my competition. Like, at the end of the day, it's all, I want to help people, right? So if I can help you, help your community, or if you can help me, help my community, like, let's benefit from each other. I'm very much like a abundance person, as opposed to like a competition type person. So again, like I said, community over competition in that respect. And that's what I want my audience and my community to be like, is like, if someone posts a question, I don't want people to think, well, I've got an agency, I'm not going to help this guy out. I want everyone to have the abundance mindset of like, this guy's got a question. I'm not the expert here. I've only closed one client, but when I did close that one client, I learned XYZ that maybe will benefit you. So even though obviously I'm the mentor figure in the group, I'm not the only one that's helping everyone. Like, the community all help each other. They all have, they all give guidance and stuff. So, so again, they're selfless people, they're all willing to help.
Yeah, that's incredible, mate, honestly. And I feel like the more you communicate that as well, the more you're going to attract the people that are like this, because I know exactly what you mean. Like, where people ask a question, everyone's scared, like, if I give this advice, matey boy's going to overtake my business and XYZ. Like, no, I can't even comprehend the amount of abundance in this whole universe, this world. Like, it's just insane to think that by helping out someone else, it's going to affect your business. And if it is, then you probably need to rethink your business, because there's no way that helping someone else should impact make your business worse. So I love that. Just obsessed with help, obsessed with I think whenever I get on calls with my clients who are high performers, or if I get on a call with people in like different groups and stuff, like there's something about being in a room with that, it almost supercharges the potential of like what you can bring from that conversation. I think like if you go to a mastermind event and you're all talking business and stuff, that there's something about being in that place with all these people that can really create just, I don't know what the word would be.
Well, it just motivates the hell out of you, and I think it just elevates you as a person. Just like, I mean, just a prime example, right? So like when I went to New York with Jordan and that, we met up with like a guy called Patrick. I've never heard of the dude before, but he was in the space, but I do like that stuff. And we got chatting, and like he brought me onto the idea of having a monthly group. Now, like the crazy thing is I probably never would have started this monthly thing if I'd never gone to New York and met that guy. And this is a guy that's making tens of thousands a month from his group, and he's impacting people, and his is in a completely different space, right? Like he helps people with investment advice and stuff like that. But the point is like by being surrounded with those people, we went out for like a nice meal, and there's 4 of us there, and we sat down and we would just chat for hours. And the crazy thing was we didn't realize, but it was like 1 a.m. in the morning. We were the last people in the restaurant because time was just flying past, and we didn't realize. And but we were just discussing, and like he got a bunch of benefits, I got a bunch of benefits, everyone else on the table did as well. But it's like that networking, and that's on a small scale, right? That's like one person. But if you're in a room with people who have all got different ideas, and it's just even just the networking abilities as well, like meeting people who you could meet one person who could transform your life. They could become a business partner. They may know a connection that may connect you with someone else who may end up being your biggest client. Like that, you just never know what comes of it. And that's what I think is like, if you're abundant, you just attract more. Maybe not in the short term, but definitely in the long term.
Yeah, that's actually amazing, man. Like that's literally a perfect example. When you get in that room, you're learning about their stories, you're hearing their progress, and they might say that one tiny thing of what they did this to get the first client, or they did this to create a monthly subscription group, which just expanded a whole new area for you to help people. Like, that's what this is all about. And obviously with everyone's abundance mindset, it's just going to be like a massive machine of everyone is building this amazing energy of how can we all grow together. So I think that's an amazing story. I'm really happy with this so far. And this is only the preface. This is only the introduction, mate. And honestly,
apologies if I'm taking up too much time, mate. I know if I'm ranting on here. So
no, it's perfect. Literally, this is like the main goal of these sessions is to pull all of that out of you, for you to tell that from the heart, from your gut of like, what is this brand all about? Because that's where the golden nuggets come from. That's going to help me when I'm designing this. So
for sure,
we're going to get straight into section 1, brand values and positioning. So what is our North Star? This is literally, how are we going to position? What are your main values for the company? What are we going to represent? What are we going to live by? And we've already spoken a little bit about this in the story. So we are just going to, keep taking that further. So number 1, you'll see over here, I put list 5 to 10. If this goes to 20, I do not mind at all. Getting out all the values. So culture, how would your community describe you? So
describe me. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like talking about myself, or I don't know how they describe me. I mean, I know how I'd like them to describe me. But
that's the question. Yeah. How would you like them to describe you?
Yeah. I mean, abundant, I suppose, like over deliver, positive, like generally, like I think the most important one, to be honest, would be like caring as well, like actually caring about helping, like helpful, and a mentor as well. I suppose not from a point of view of look at what his material possessions, because I'm not a material guy at all. Like I have a very basic living lifestyle, you know, but from a point of view of where I was before, hopefully inspiring, just because like for me, like if I, and again, like I said, you don't, if you, it's less of a, okay, look at me now driving my Lambo, because I don't have that stuff. I don't want that stuff. It's more from a point of view of if you could have looked at the person I was 10 years ago, you just would not believe to what I'm doing now, because I was such like a hermit. Like I didn't have too many friends, like video game, like completely like stones and stones overweight, massively unconfident. Like growing up, never had any money, lived on like rough council estates my whole life. So to be able to have like that transition, less of a point of view of like, oh, look at all these material objects, but just from a point of view of this is the person I've become, and this is the business I've built for myself from where I was, with no handouts, with nothing. Like I hope that's kind of inspiring in that respect. Yeah, I think that, to be fair, that's probably most of them, to be honest.
Have you got any feedback before? Have you ever got any nice messages of like, thank you for this, Brad, you've helped me do X, Y, Z?
I've got thousands of those messages, man. Like I get like, there's so many of them, which is so great. I get weirded out talking about myself and stuff like this. You know what I mean? I'd rather you speak to my students and ask them, because I don't like to like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, don't worry. Me too, mate. Me too. These are some really great ones, though. I think that idea of the inspiring leader, like you were the example for these people, and like you said, just to go through these words, like to have such a positive, abundant leader who, like, you're genuinely so caring and helpful to everyone. Like you can be that example figure for these people. So
yeah, I suppose authority would probably be another one as well, because it's like I think it comes with, but there's like a line as well, right? It's like you want to make sure you're a caring example, but you have to be an authority. Like people can't take, like, you know, you can't, if someone comes in and like they can't take advantage of that, right? Like if someone comes in as being negative, like they have to get kicked out. So there's levels, right? You have to be authority, like you have to be a businessman as well, but you at the same time, it's about doing that in a way that is like driven for positive reasons and not just like personal reasons as well. And just on another example in terms of like, you know, culture there, like, you know, one example as well, I suppose, and maybe that comes from being like the example, but like I remember once, like it was recent, probably in the last few months, I had a lead that came to me who actually like wanted to work with me, but my student was already talking to them, and this was a $500 per month client, and I just literally gave them to my student, and that student like pays me, like, and like I gave up that student, like, because I mean I gave up that client to give to them, which was like, and it's funny because they messaged me saying like, oh, who's this Jonathan guy? And I was like, oh yeah, he's my student. And then they automatically wanted to work with me, but I said, no, like, go and work with him. Like, he's really trusted. He's a better fit, when actually it would have been a perfect fit for me. So I suppose that's the example thing, right? Like, I can't be telling people to be abundant and giving and caring about their, you know, wanting my students to succeed more than I want me to succeed. And then all of a sudden, like, poach, you know, like potential clients from my students. It's like, yeah, like the example I think there's very much like a true one as well.
So yeah, we're going to start with culture and have a look through some of these words and see what visual references, what does that actually look like? So, for example, let me just pick one. Authority. So if you saw an authoritative brand and you looked at it and you could obviously see that they were expert, they were knowledgeable, this was a very professional brand, like what would that sort of look like?
I suppose it would just look, you know, it would look professional, wouldn't it? Right? It would look clean. I think clean's a big thing, right? Like super clean. I think simplistic as well is like another one where I think sometimes less is more, especially with like, you know, with a lot of things. I don't know. This is where I struggle with stuff like I mentioned to you, right? Creative wise, I'm not the best. So this is where I really struggle.
Don't worry at all, mate. This is the, just like with the values, as soon as you have squeezed out as much as you think you have, we're going to throw in some different angles and just keep really squeezing that out. So,
I suppose, yeah, I mean, I was going to show this one here. This is one of example. I mean, it's a real basic example, but there's a brand called Blinkist. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Yes, I have heard of that, yeah.
But like, I remember looking at that line and like looking at their stuff and immediately thinking, and I think what it is it just looks friendly. It just and it's cheap and it's like good, but it looks trustworthy at the same time. They've actually got a really simple logo, but it's like,
oh yeah, it's this one, isn't it? The key lessons from the books.
It's so good, by the way. If you don't have it, mate, it's like £10 a month or something, and you just get unlimited like mini cut audio books. It's so good.
Yeah, I actually really love the look of this, to be fair.
So it's like real. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's real simple, and it just looks trustworthy immediately. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't look. So that's an issue I see with like Dan Locke's brand, for example. It is very high end and authority and luxury, but you do associate that with high price tags, which isn't what I'm offering. And I'm not a
Yeah.
luxury guy. Right? I don't wear suits. I have one suit upstairs. I don't buy brands, designer. I don't have a Lambo. Like, you know. So that's definitely not my selling point. I want authority, but I don't want that kind of stuff. But I think but there's also a balance there, right? But like, I mean, this here, it's very simple, but it's like a nice little brand that's like.
This is so nice, mate. Honestly, I haven't actually looked at this before, but initially, like from a design point of view, the words that I'm immediately looking are, it looks spacious, it looks modern, it looks like light and airy. Like it's kind of that's kind of a weird word.
I know what you're saying, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of white space and it's not crowded at all, and stuff like. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, even the mock-ups are like you can
clean.
Obviously tell it's not the actual book cover. They've reduced it to the basic word, and it makes it just flow so nice. And they've got like, let me zoom out and see if they. So stuff like the green sort of ribbon, it looks like that's.
The white ribbon there. Yeah, they got that throughout, haven't they?
And the icons are simple, 100%. So,
and even like I said, if you look at the ConvertKit website, that's another example.
Oh, I thought I'd heard of this. The only reason I've heard of this is just when I've seen people's products and their URL is like .convertkit.com.
Yeah, it's just an email marketing software.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So it's just simple, and if you scroll down, you can see all like the like between the thing. Like, it just flows so nice, right?
Even like a little thing like when this email just animated like that. That's so cool.
Actually,
yeah, I love this like the line throughout.
Yeah, that's what I like because it helps you like flow your way down the landing page, and before you know it, you've watched it all.
Yeah, that's sort of a thing we were going for with Digital Expert, with that pathing to sort of not only does it help you obviously guide you throughout the landing page, but what we did with Digital Expert was like, okay, this can be used across the board as a visualization of the person going from beginner to expert. So I really like stuff like that. You're all good for now. Yeah, honestly, this is really good examples. I'm glad you've got those in your head. So we'll go to number 2 now, which is customer. Don't worry too much about like the customer part. We're just sort of looking at the keywords here. So 1, for example, is okay. We'll go with over deliver. So when you see a brand and you immediately sort of interpret it as something that's over delivering, what visually does that look like?
Well, I suppose it looks like pluses, plus signs, like. I suppose the rocket kind of gives the sign. I suppose if we go for the rocket type theme, like that's like up and beyond, isn't it? Like ticks or stuff like that.
Value stacks.
What's that, sorry?
Value stacks.
Yeah, value stacks. Yeah.
Things like that, like just like initially on a sales page, like if someone's over delivering, they've got loads of ticks, loads of plus signs, benefits, everything you're getting.
Testimonials, all that kind of stuff as well.
Another thing that I remember you said was about brand where he uses his colors really well to like underline and highlight certain words. I feel like sometimes that's a nice little way to make things stand out, make the whole page look a bit more interesting. Yeah,
and the mock-ups as well, like you said. But like sometimes you want the full mock-ups, right? But then sometimes if you're like breaking down the value stack and it's just here's the resources, and maybe you just show like the PDF stuff, so like individually.
Definitely, and that's the main thing. Like that is literally the main goal of brand identity is perceived value. I think whenever I'm trying to communicate that, it's like, why do I have to spend money on my design? Let me just go and get like some cheap banner design. It's because the perceived value of what you're going to look like is going to completely change what they feel about the worth of your service and how much they trust you. So yeah, that's a great one.
Cool.
So confusion here, if we flip that, opposite of confusion is obviously clarity, simplicity, and I feel like, to copy from the first one, just the idea of it being super clean, super like well laid out. Yeah, and obviously that's one of the biggest things as well, is things can be simple. And again, we have to remember the main goal of this is like, how can we make you really unique? How can we make you stand out? And so like what you said about having something about you, that's where we start to do some of the subtle, whether it's background icons, whether it's like on the Blinkist one with the ribbon sort of pattern they've got across the whole website. The little things like that is what separates you from everyone else. So you can keep it simplistic, and then, you know, how else can we reflect our personality?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
so
100%. That's why I do like the gradient font as well. Like, I think if you've got a little bit of a gradient font as well, I think, because like it's just a bit more about, you know, so it's still simple, but there's still something there. Like, do you like I said with the Hybooks thing, where it's an ever so subtle like kind of transition. For me, that's like, you know, it's enough of it to, if it was just a plain green, you might be like, oh, it's a bit, you know, but it's because it's got a subtle trans, like I think it adds a little bit of like, yeah, a little bit of extra to it. Yeah, I think simplicity again, like, if, you know, if you're screaming and you're too out there, it's like, you don't need to. Like, I'll let the product speak for itself. This is the brand. This is what you're going to get. Like, all the focus is on this. This is the product, you know, and that's what I'm trying to get at. It's like, and it is very much about building that brand and, like you said, the identity. So it's like people look at that and they know what it is, and that's what, you know, like Nike can get away with just being a tick because they're Nike, you know what I mean? So it's like, how can you do something, you know, that's like enough about you to seem professional, but also just, you know, what that is when you see it.
Gotcha. No, that's wicked. Yeah, that's a good example of like, I wrote down, not distracting from the brand. Like, at a certain point, your brand identity is what's gonna be memorable for people, how they're gonna identify who you are. But at the end of the day, let the product speak for itself. Let's make everything look just super clean, super high value looking. Give them the people looking on your page the best experience when they're scrolling down, like, whoa, this is so clean, this looks so nice. Yeah, I feel like that's a really nice way to not like make things too busy, too crowded.
Yeah.
Nice. So number 3, let's find some more words. We've got obviously simplistic is already on here as well. In terms of the logo, like, it's going to be memorable and unique. Like, what story does the logo tell? I know you spoke a lot about rockets. Like, what is that vision of the story that the logo is going to tell? Like, what it's going to communicate right off the bat?
Yeah, well, I suppose for me it's about obviously the rocket, like, you know, you like skyrocket, right? Like, that's what I want people to skyrocket their results, you know? It's like, I want people to, you know, a rocket goes up and it gets out the atmosphere and it, you know, it goes places no one else goes, you know, and that's kind of where I want to take my students. Like, I want people to get, not, you know, I don't want them to just like have small goals. I want you to get up and out of the atmosphere, like, you know, just go and accelerate. You know, nothing goes up faster than a rocket, right? It comes straight off the face, just directly up, you know, like, that's the thing. It's like, that's my thought process behind that. It's yes, direct to destination, you know, straight up. I love that.
That's wicked.
And a rocket only goes one way, right? Like, it only goes up, doesn't it? You know, it doesn't. And obviously there's going to be ups and downs throughout any business, but you get what I'm saying. Is like, the point is to propel you up, propel you forward. And obviously it's called the Excelerator Company, right? To excel you forward, to progress you that way.
Nice, man, nice. So, yeah, obviously the whole point of this is how can we make not only, obviously the wordplay is quite cool, we're going to make people excel with the quality wise of like what they're doing with the business, but also accelerate forwards, that movement, progression, direction. So I feel like the rocket is the sort of visual symbol to define all that, but then the meaning behind the rocket is like, okay, we're going to go to our destination, And like you said, there's nothing faster than a freaking rocket. When Elon Musk has just spent 5 years building a rocket, and it shoots into the sky. It's huge. There's flames everywhere. Like that sort of freaking imagery.
That's the growth that you want. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
100%. Awesome. So,
to be fair, what's also cool as well, I know what I was going to look at, and this isn't really a brand as such, but if you go on to 16personalities.com, I really like this kind of cool little, like, it's like the 16 personality test.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that before. Oh, this one, yeah.
So like the whole branding on their website is so clean.
Ooh.
If you scroll down and see it's so cool. It's all the same type of thing. I like that type of theme, and I like the cool, like, and I suppose that takes almost back to the polygon effect, because they all kind of look like polygon-ish if you actually look at the images.
No,
the reason they look 3D is because it's all like polygon-like. So yeah, that's another one to write down, because I really like that site. That's really clean. I think if we could do anything to do with that type of theme, that would be insane. But I don't know how that would look or work, but I do really like that. And I suppose this is where like the things come in when you, like you said, you're going to bring, like, we'll discuss it as we progress. And I suppose you show me examples and that, because obviously I have to see it to see, but definitely that could work well.
100%. Yeah, no, I think another thing from this is really interesting is, like, I'm getting a big vibe of like a journey, sort of like a roadmap.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's like number 1, number 2, number 3. This is such a cool little graphic.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah.
So your journey could be like, you know, just a visualization of like where you are, and you know now all the values of a person before they join your group to where they want to be. So you can include all of that within your, you know, branding, landing page, touch point and stuff. I'll let you get to your other call, but yeah, I really appreciate this. It was an amazing strategy session. I knew it was going to be.
Yeah, it's
so
great,
I'm so excited to start creating and bringing it to life.
Yeah, me too, mate. Well, keep us updated. Appreciate the time, and we'll be in touch, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll catch you later.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, bro. See you later.
See ya.
Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I hope you found a ton of value. As mentioned, if you would like to see part 2 where Josh actually presents all his designs and ideas, let me know in the comment section. Also, if you want to get in contact with Josh about anything design related, all his links are in the description down below to his YouTube channel, his Instagram, so you can reach out and connect with him. And then finally, if you are interested in having me personally mentor you every single day to hold your hand and help you grow your business, if you're interested in being part of the community that me and Josh discussed building the brand for in this exact episode today, the link to the Entrepreneur Accelerator is in the description down below. And the crazy thing is, if you join in as well, you'll see all the branding. You'll be able to see all the crazy templates and banners and the branding on the lessons, the presentations, everything Josh has helped provide for this amazing community. So it'd be great for you to see that as well. Anyway, we'd love to mentor you, would love to help you. Be sure to grab yourself a copy of the book, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.